will be the one to start in towards Shower. First introduction to the Vise that they're going up against.
Absolutely, and it looks as though it's just going to be a complete flood out of A. All 4 players going into site now, and overwhelming for G2 Esports.
Yeah, but still, G2 are holding on towards Shower. They've got a foothold towards the site, and Corral and T1 towards Lamps. Or U-Haul, as they would call it over in NA, the wee man, wingman, getting that spike down. Still a player to come in late, that will be Leaf. And Meteor coming in for a late flank. G2 haven't thought about this, and this could be a win condition T1 could play through. They're taking their time coming in, waiting for all 5 players to be there, and Meteor now comes in at the perfect opportunity. Utility being thrown either side, but G2 were ahead momentarily, back in front. Leaf doing the business there. Still, they can't quite get the spike. Cheeky that Jog gets away with that ultimate orb, considering he's not able to get traded and there was no utility to support, and he's close to that showstopper. Buzz, on the other hand, has found a gap to work through. He's deep in towards CT, and he's got another one for his efforts. Jog still trying to keep himself honest here, but he's being caught out by the utility of the Rays of Buzz, and JonahP now has to come in by himself.
JonahP, only a Sheriff and a Stinger in hand, still has a Sky Flash should they wish to go for this, but so cautious of there potentially being a player from T1 coming in on a late flank. But of course, any late flanks that we've seen from T1 so far on their attack has been through that Vise, has been through Showers. Perhaps just looking to play for any form of exits here and see what damage that they can do to T1's economy going into the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, honestly, I think that T1 won't want to try and push anything here. Would rather allow JonahP to get taken away by the spike, and that's a decent response, right? For the most part, he'll take that.
To see if they can get a reaction and bait out any sort of utility from G2, and it is going to be a flash long, but the whiff! Trent has to back it up.
That blast pack was huge from Buzz, but instead, Trent comes through exactly when needed. Retreats back, happy with the advantage that they've taken, and allows the spike to be picked up by T1.
30 seconds left.
G2 pretty happy and comfortable to just play in their pairs here on site. But 20 seconds left on the clock, Cairo. This is looking like T1 are going to have to make a decision soon.
Yeah, and the decision is to start to move on towards site. Trent still not cleared in the corner. He's down the spike. This is a point in which G2 can work through. They can try and flood through the spike. Showstopper in. Spike goes down. But look at this. The Brimstone of Sylvan's been put in a precarious situation. 30 points of health. Doesn't have utility to work through. It just has to be his Vandal and the mechanical skills that he's got in pocket. Valyn thinks he's towards long, spamming out, giving away his position, and a tap of the spike will allow...
Light buy for G2, and it does mean that... Okay, Trent?
Listen, man, don't count him out of any rounds. Meteor being able to use the defensive smoke against Valyn. Still equal on the player count, and Thrash actually been invested by G2. They somewhat fancy this round. Unfortunately, Jock can't quite capitalise until now. Reload on the Stinger, but T1 are set in their post plan. They're so far back that G2, they have to try and clear these corners. But not realising where it is. Yep, but Billy, the thing for me here is that they're going to have to get another Thrash being sent forward, looking to stop anyone getting on towards the spike. Looking at the utility coming through, there's still points that they can initiate through, and that's the Dizzy. JonahP gets rid of Meteor, but still the spike hasn't been worked on. Time is ticking away. The wingman being sent forward, releases stax to swing out and deny the wingman. That all but confirms it for T1.
Go for a TP here, Cairo.
Yeah, straight away called. You wouldn't position a player there because they would be so late to the execute towards the B side. Molly will delay though, And that's the big thing about having Valyn towards this side of the map. Finally, the ultimates are invested for T1. That's the null command in the showstopper. They won't find a value through kills, but a value through getting the space. G2 now starting to flood in through the smokes. Meteor gets one, Belief gets two. Advantage to G2. Still not get control of the spike and still can't get working on it just yet. T1 have done enough to delay, and that comes through the utility that's been expended. G2 are taking their time and trying to be methodical and clearing every corner, every nook and cranny. They allow T1 to fight back. Wingman on the spike. Look, we can deny it straight away, but stax has been forced back. Has a molly lineup, but has been allowed to drop low in HP. Both players close. Flashes towards Fountain, and stax winning out that duel once more. Trent trades it.
I mean, these Stingers have been deadly throughout this tournament, and it's Trent that's going to have to face them with a Guardian and gets 4, Cairo!
He's going to get the ace! The operator is getting the biggest amount of information. It's just the position of Leaf, and he's been able to find Meteor as well.
Looking to answer back to a couple of the lurks that Meteor has been doing.
Well, there's the op that we were talking about earlier, and there's the showstopper. Forces towards B-Long. An explosion imminent, especially with the amount of ultimates that can be sent forward, but one Brim Molly could be enough. Buzz manages to jump, leapfrog over all the utility sent his way, and find himself a space towards the backside. G2 once again wanting to play this retake.
It is going to be a flood from Hookah that G2 are able to jump out of, and the flash is lovely, Cairo.
It's lovely indeed, Billy. He's even caught the Brim on long, he's holding on towards his own orbital strike, right? And that's the big thing. Still holding into the middle of sight. Meteor looks away at the wrong time, and it's all up to the Gecko of Isu, who's been doing so well in previous, but can he do it once again? A double stack, a high-low. Valyn is working on the spike, he's even got it half. He needs to deny it, he needs to swing. Activate it, find the value immediately, because G2 have dodged it straight into the side. Buzz! Oh no, he's not hit the shots that should have been easy enough for him. As well, jawgemo will be the first one on the mark. Still, it's been traded back and forth, and Spike being tapped out, trying to bait players out, and Buzz, while he missed shots earlier, will not miss. I believe as well, or even just getting that orb, whether it's Jog or Trent, is massive, because you're starting to build towards that. Still, there's delay to come through. They're heading in towards where the Sentinels are playing, and Trent gets the first. G2 combining together and putting themselves 3 players up. Spike going down. Post plant should be easy enough, but you are up against stax.
Stax has had a few hero rounds this game. Looking around, lurking around, and it is going to be Leaf. We have seen them lurk throughout this, but that's really nice. Unexpected. Yeah,
you're forcing the hand out because you have no control towards the A side of the map. G2 almost are forced to execute into the B side, in towards Meteor's Vise, and he gets another kill. You're seeing the combinations and mollies. This has been well thought out by the Korean side. And there's so much information being bought by Buzz.
Yeah, really difficult for G2 to decide if they want to go out in onto this one, and they will be, and it did that. And now this round, I mean, they're going to go for the same sort of push out Showers, but this time backed up with
deposited towards Showers, Billy. And he knows that players would have maybe come out here. Only one player is in on the site. It was jawgemo, but the spike is elsewhere. T1 have fell for this hook, line, and sinker. You saw how quickly Leaf was calling for the rotate.
Again, time ticking down, but G2 are going to be able to get that plant down, of course, with the assistance of Wingman. And you have to ask, T1, what can you do to make this possible?
Coming back in, Billy, I'll tell you what they can use. A full belt of utility on the Gecko, and stax has 1 flash and 1 molly to work with. Don't know when the knife comes up online, but we will know pretty soon enough when it does. Yeah, stax has it now. And finally, it'll go to wall.
Big.
It is. 3 players have been found, and stax's molly has done a bit of work. He's so trying
that contact. Buzz is just so concerned about the shower push coming in that we've seen from the last round.
100%. They've got an alcove in which to work with to get that spike down, but they would rather wait for the Viper's pit to go down. jawgemo would rather put stax in the ground. Having to use a shorty and a Viper's pit is exactly what you would want if you're Leaf. Unfortunately, he won't get a heads-up gunfight. Meteor will, and he'll win it. Still, the spike hasn't gone down, and we're starting to get low in terms of the round time.
But look at this Vi's utility on B, Cairo. And there is the Gecko as well to play off the back of it. Time going down on the clock now, 20 seconds. G2, give us an answer.
They've dropped the spike on the B side, trying to bait out and use sound against the defense. But look at JonahP. He's got one, but the players have eluded him. He's got one more. Buzz towards Lamps. Great to get the spike down. He's almost spot T1 the round, but hasn't been able to.
Both ultimates on both sides. You've got the Thrash in the pocket of Izu, but you've also got that Brimble on the side of valyn as well.
Orbital strike. In terms of the utility that G2 can work with, other than that, it's not a lot. Izu does have the Dizzy, looking for the first gunfight and finds it. Throws the Dizzy out, taps the spike, looks to go up. Shower space once again. Oh, this is a re-engage, it's a trap play. We've actually seen the Thrash grab one. That's where the raise is gone. T1 look to hold this, create a real resistance against their opponents. Buzz's operator hasn't been fully known about, will do now. But at the same time,
drop a Brim smoke down there just to be certain.
We've been able to jiggle the wall. Means that the Vi's utility has been used up. Only that rose, the arc rose, that can be used on that side of the map. As for now, G2 will probably be happy to try and send us into the side, but when they do, there's a mosh pit that stops them. And a Phantom. It's the Phantom of Isu, doubling up. Now Leaf, what can he do? He knows where stax is, but the players did get a kill. I know we didn't mention it, but felt superfluous to the rounds, and valyn will be superfluous to this one. Off the boards, smoke's no longer going to be available, but they had been used up, which is the good thing for G2. They'd bought themselves already the space that they need, and there isn't everything that they would want in terms of weaponry either. Orbital strike being used to try and deny any space. We know that that can work out, and we know that Chog's Vandal can as well. We're back even in the man count, and this makes things a little bit more interesting. Stax denies the utility from the raise. And the players of Meteor even find himself on bench. Leaf is close by. In fact, he won't be any more in this round. Now it's up to the Ghost. JonahP on 1 HP, and now stax up against Jog. Reju, nade being used, but stax. The Seekers have been used out. Leaf was towards the A side of the map, and well, as the execute comes in, there is a little bit of delay, and again, T1 buy themselves time to get players into position, and so does Meteor's Phantom.
They are actually going to commit the Thrash to this round, and is that a panic Visal? I mean, they're expecting all of the G2 players to funnel off the back of that Thrash.
Yeah, they are. Something else to note, Billy, is that depending on the way that the kills fall, we could see a couple more ultimates come online, right? That's to keep note of as we head in towards the late round, in towards the post plant, and a 5 versus 5, which is something that we've not seen much of. The Thrash has been sent on either side. Players caught, Meteor capitalizes. There goes Trent. No more G2 Gecko utility, and no more players are starting to hemorrhage them. JonahP at least has an answer, but T1 are on the spike. They have control of it, and they have control of the round. It has to be the Spectre of Leaf to get something, but they will not find it. It is T1 once again, Billy, who are able to